Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday night, The Fundamentals to Gain Inner Peace, with your host, Coach Menachem Bernfeld. And we're continuing our conversation when letting go feels too scary. And we've discussed the past few weeks the concept of letting go, understanding what it means, and that letting go doesn't mean not caring anymore. Being able to let go is being able to be aware of what you're holding on to and allow it to be, not trying to fight it. But I get this question many times, and I have it myself. It's a nice concept. It doesn't always work, or it could be it does, but it takes work. And just by telling somebody, just let it go, won't work. And to understand what it really means, and not always easy. So tonight we're going to discuss why it's not always easy. And like we mentioned many times, there's a reason why you're holding on. Because if I let go, finish the sentence. So wherever you are in life, whatever story you're telling yourself, whatever you're going through, whatever it is, understand that there's a reason why we're holding on so tight. We believe we should, and it's supposed to be this way. Like we discussed, whether it's control, or we want to feel, the other people see me, or whatever it is. Can't just let it go. It's my story, it's my life. So it's not always easy. We discussed the Sedona method by asking yourself the questions, first allowing yourself to feel whatever you feel, and then to ask yourself, can I let it go? Would I let it go? And when? So just to stop for a moment, for those who were here in the past, are you trying it out? Is it working? What does it look like for you? You tried it maybe once, twice, and that was it. So just you let me know in the chat. But just to be aware of what are the things that I'm holding on to? What's something in my life that I just can't figure out? It's bothering me. Just being aware of what are those things, the emotions that come up, all those emotions. For me, just being aware of this concept helps me. It gets me to that step one, to that awareness of when something goes on. I always know that I could, ask myself, can I let it go? And just by knowing that concept could make things a little bit easier already. That means you're zooming out, you're looking at it from the outside, which is amazing. Okay. So let's get grounded before we start. And by now you should know what grounded means, just being in the moment, coming into the room, being in the here and the now, being aware, where am I? Both feet on the floor. Take a deep breath. And just ask yourself, where am I? What did my day look like? Where am I coming from? Just being aware of, maybe I don't have time to stop. For some reason, I'm here listening to you, but I should really be going back to my to-do list. A lot to do. Why am I stopping? Just be aware of what comes up. But here we give ourselves permission for a few minutes to slow down, to stop what we're doing, and we deserve a little bit of time for ourselves, and that's okay. And that's part of letting go. You might have a belief that might say, stopping, doing nothing, that doesn't make sense. So that's a belief. And just letting go. Deep breath in, and now we turn inwards just to become aware of what does my body feel. Spend a few seconds listening to your body, becoming aware of any sensations, anything that comes up, even if it's very subtle. Just by stopping. If you've been running all day and you stop and take a deep breath, right away you can feel some tension just pushing you to continue running. Just be aware, where do you feel that? Let your shoulders drop. Quick body scan just to see any feelings, sensations that come up. Beautiful. Nothing needs to change. We're here now and aware of what's going on. Okay, so let's talk about letting go a little bit for a few minutes. So, letting go is not always easy, not always peaceful. And at first, it could bring up emotions, brings up that very thing that we're trying to avoid. And that's the reason why we're holding on to. Because if I let go, these emotions can come up. So, what we're learning is number one, to welcome these emotions. Let it come up, whatever it is. Let it in. It's there, anyways. You might not be aware of it, you might not allow it to come up. But now we're slowing down, becoming aware, and becoming aware of what's that thing that I'm holding on to. Because if I let go, what are some common feelings that come up? Number one, very simple, fear of the unknown, fear of letting go. If you are somebody that needs to know what your day is going to look like, if you have to know how things are going to work, the control, how could you not? Anxiety, you can feel anxious. If I don't know exactly how am I going to do this? Emotions like sadness or guilt. And these are not easy emotions. Am I doing the wrong thing by letting go? And when it gets hard, sometimes we feel shame. Why is it so hard for me? So we can shame ourselves. Frustration, loneliness. You want to keep yourself busy because you don't want to sit down and let go of those things of just let go for a few minutes because you might feel those feelings of loneliness or even hopelessness. I can't change. This is who I am. And then there are real, these feelings are real feelings. And again, anytime you have a change in life, we want to hold on to the old self, hold on to that thing we're used to, our routine. And anytime there's a change, we start feeling the fear, anxious. We want to hold on and we tighten that grip even more. Just keep on tightening that grip. Hold on because it's so scary to let go. You might even feel fatigue, tired, sometimes lethargic. Just you feel like something's wrong with me. Many times people think it's depression, those feelings. If I stop, if I let go of those emotions, let go of the beliefs. So many reasons why. So let's stop for a moment, see what's something that I'm holding on to, something in my life that I just can't let go. And you can ask yourself, how long have you been in this situation? What's the story you're telling yourself? You might blame the other. It's not something that you have to let go. You're right, but they have to. And let's talk about a real example. Let's talk about, let's say someone loses a job, or they feel they need to find a new job. The place where they are is not working out. And they might be feeling this way for years, but they just can't take that step because it's very scary. So, this very clear example of holding on to something, you might be used to it, call it comfort. I would rather stay here even though I don't feel fulfilled. They don't really need me. I'm not doing anything. I wish I can be somewhere else, but I'd rather stay here because it's too scary. Okay, so it's very clear to let go. So what am I going to do if I let go? Exactly. And what are the fears financially? Other people, are they going to need me? What am I good at? What could I do? And all the fears start coming up. So now it's very clear why you're not letting go. Just tell someone, just let go. It doesn't work that way. And if you've been holding on for so many years, how am I supposed to let go? Now, it could be something sudden or it could be for many years. You're in a place where these emotions come up. Let's say you do get the pink slip, and it might be a good thing, but you can't see it. You feel so scared, and you might feel shock, panic. There's nothing else I can do. This is what my life is going to look like. You start feeling grief, loss, all these heavy emotions. So this is a very clear example. Now, could be something that doesn't talk to you now, but let's stop for a moment. What's something that you're holding on to? Something, a story you're telling yourself about yourself, something you want to do when you're scared to start, something's not working out the way you're doing it, and you just can't decide to do it different because you can't let go. So, like we mentioned, the wants, what are the wants behind it? You want to feel secure. I feel secure where I am. I have control. I know how it works. Or the approval, if I start something else or a new job, I might fail. And what are people going to think? So these are real wants. Beautiful. So just become aware of what you're holding on to. What's the want behind it? A fear of the unknown is very common. How often do you step into a territory that you don't know what it's going to look like? Do something that you don't know what the outcome is going to be. How often do you do that? Not easy. What happens if there's a fear? What's if it doesn't work out? There's a fear. Or identity, whether it could be your job. This is who I am. This is what I do. How can I do something else? It's not who I am. So I'm holding on to the story I'm telling myself about myself. This is who I do. This is who I am. And that's it. Not easy to let go. And then keeping me safe. If I stay here, at least I'm safe. At least we think we're safe. If I go out of my comfort zone, who knows? So when you have these emotions come up, so you can ask yourself these questions. letting go, but be aware that emotions might come up. And step number one is always to allow those emotions to come up. Don't push them away. Because part of letting go is, and the most important piece of letting go is, not to fight whatever comes up. Let that go. That fight that you're putting up. In other words, allow the emotion to come up, allow it to be there. Look at it, talk to it, feel it, see it. So step number one, can I allow the emotion to be here? Can I allow the fear of the unknown? Just allow it to be there and just feel your body, what comes up, what you feel. And then you can ask yourself the questions, can I let it go? Would I? And when? But it's not always easy because of these emotions. So just being aware of that. Okay, so let's stop for a moment. Any questions? If you have any examples, you can share it in a chat. What happens when anxiety comes up? So if you're running away from the anxiety, you might find that you have it the whole week. But if you can stop for a moment and allow the anxiety to be there, what is it? What's the anxiety telling me? Welcome it in. What's going on? Just be aware. Find some safe space where you can allow. Again, for many people, it can be very scary to stop and be sitting with that anxiety. So you want to continue running away from it. But when you're ready, or if you can do it with help, someone can help you to sit with it, to confront it, to see it, to allow it, to stop fighting, stop pushing it away. Beautiful. Okay, so here are some questions you can ask yourself to become aware. So you might have a great job and you're doing amazing, but you can ask yourself the question, what happens if I lose my job? And that might bring up a lot of emotions. You identify with your job and just be aware of that fear of, I can't let that go. That's who I am. Okay, just be aware of it. This is what I think I am. This is my story. You never know. Another question, what's the hardest part of me? What's the hardest thing for me to let go? Is it my identity? The story I'm telling myself? The routine I'm in? Is there something inside of me that's saying if I don't feel the fear, I won't be productive? The only reason I do what I do, I get things done, is because I feel that anxiety, I feel the stress, I feel those feelings. And now you're telling me I should let go of those emotions, then I'm not going to do anything. So that's a belief. It's something that many people have. I'm only productive when I feel the stress, a little bit of anxiousness. I can't let go of those emotions because then I'm not going to do it. Okay, something to think about. And then ask yourself, can I allow these feelings to be just the way it is? Allow the feeling to be. Become aware of your story and then allow those emotions to come up. Now let's take it to the next level. What's the story I'm telling myself? What's something I'm holding on about myself? And that's hard to let go. For example, the core feeling of I'm not enough, a belief that I have, an emotion that it brings up. I just feel I'm not enough. I feel something is wrong with me. That's a belief, a story. There's something wrong. Every day I feel this feeling, there's something wrong with me. I have to earn love. I have to be productive in order to be valuable. If people really know who I am, they won't accept me. These are stories, these are beliefs. Or I'm too broken to be healed. This is who I am. Nothing's going to change. Can you allow these stories to be there? Allow it to come up. And then you can ask yourself, maybe it's time to let go. Can I let it go? That thought, that story, I'm not enough. Can I let it go? Would I? And when? Can I let go of that story that I'm holding on to? Something that I'm walking around with every day. And many of you know what it is. Something that always stops you, always makes you feel heavy, pulls you down. What is it? What's the story behind it? And we might slowly just learn how to let go of those stories, of those beliefs. Okay, so that's the concept. The idea of why letting go could be easy for some people, but for many it's hard. And the reason why it's hard is because there's a reason why you're holding on to this story, belief, this something that's running your life. You're holding on to it because if I don't, dot, dot, dot. And that's why it's hard. So when we're talking about growth, change, you want to start being a little bit more positive. You want to be able to start seeing a little bit more, some light, feeling better about yourself. All of that is change. And you might find yourself in a place where it feels weird. Or when we discuss learning how to slow down, right? So the best example is for those who are running the rat race and they're constantly running. And at night, they're busy with everything they didn't finish. And tomorrow's another day and they're continuing. And it looks like they're so productive, which is amazing. And they're running, running, running. And here I am telling you, you deserve to slow down for a few minutes. And you might say, slow down. You know what's going to happen if I slow down? Tell me. Yeah, tell me what. Exactly. All of that comes up. That's fear. And if you do want to practice, whether it's sitting a minute and doing nothing or 5 minutes, just relaxing, taking a deep breath, listening to the birds, just being, you want to try to practice that. And then you start feeling there's something wrong with me. This doesn't make sense. Is this okay? Exactly. Allow the emotions to come up, the feelings to come up. That's the only way how we can grow, change. So allowing that uncomfortability. And it could sometimes be physically. I've met people, and I could tell her myself also, sometimes you're under the weather, you can catch a cold, and it could be emotionally. Something is happening, there's some change, um, you know, you're not sure how to deal with something, and you just feel it in your bones. You feel weak, and you're trying to figure out which one came first. But it works together. Those thoughts, the emotions change, and you have the changing your body, which you feel it. Amazing. One more thing which is important is to have a safe space, to be able to anchor yourself. What's that something small that you can do that when you do feel these feelings, and when you do want to allow yourself to let go and to, experience something different, new, you want to be there to hold your hands. Tell yourself it's okay. I'm okay. You start feeling these emotions, being able to anchor yourself. I'm going through whatever it is and I'm feeling this way, which is okay. And let me see what's going to change for the better, hopefully. What's going to, we're growing, something is happening. And many times to allow Hashem in our life, to trust. We don't know. Fear of the unknown. If you always have to know, then where does trust come in? And I might be opening a can of worms before, we're finished. It's something we can talk about at a different time, but trust is not easy. When I know what's going on and I'm in control, I know how to do it, I know what my day looks like, then I'm good. But when something comes up and I'm not ready for this, I'm not used to this, I don't want this, then I get lost. It's those emotions. So that's the control that we're holding on to. And then you can ask yourself, first allow the emotion to come up. Say, oh, something is going on. I feel it. I feel it. Let the feeling come up. And then you can say, can I let the feeling go? And the answer might be no. That's okay. Can I let it go? Would I? And when? And then be curious. Hashem, show me the way. Let me trust in you. And let's see what happens. So that can be not always easy, trusting, depending on your relationship with Hashem, but a higher power helps for many. Because if it's all up to me, wow, that's heavy. If it's all up to me, then yeah, you have to be in control. And when you're not, you get lost. Amazing. So that's the reason why it could be hard. And hopefully next week we'll continue some grounding ideas, what you could do when you're going through the growth, you're going through some change, you're allowing, and you're learning about yourself, new routine, new ideas. You might not be used to it, and it's okay. I don't like it. That's true. But you're not running away. You're strong enough to be there. Even though you don't like it. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Any questions you can put in the chat. We spoke about this concept a long time ago, but the idea of feeling depressed, which everybody is scared of. Now, if you have real depression, meaning you can't get out of bed, medication, therapist, whatever it is, which is important. But I'm talking about you're functioning. You're functioning. You're getting out of bed, even if it's hard. But there's something missing. There's something missing. And you don't want to go there. You don't want to be aware of what it is because you don't want to face that depression. It might be depression, but that's part of the grief, part of loss. Might be a loss of the dreams that you wanted, and it's not happening. But you want to become aware of it. And I believe allowing yourself to feel the emotion, and even if it feels like it's depression, and that can be so depressing, and who likes it? Nobody likes it. But if you allow yourself to feel it, at least you can talk to it, become aware of it. What's going on? Why do you feel this way? And only after that we can get to whether it's acceptance or maybe some change. Maybe if you could, but if you can't, what am I supposed to do? So acceptance only comes after allowing yourself to feel the emotion. And the emotion can be heavy like anger. And then the emotion can be something very low and depressing. I don't like that feeling. But that's okay. Once in a while, you allow yourself to feel it because you think just by running and being busy, you don't feel that feeling. So it's not there. It's there. It's there. It's pushing you. It's not allowing you to slow down. Then for some reason at night, you feel out of breath. For some reason, can't catch your breath. What's going on? Because if you slow down, what's going to come up? Okay, I hope it didn't scare anybody away. So we're learning to become aware of the emotion, allow the emotion, learning how to let go. Why many times letting go is scary. Can be very scary. I don't know myself. I only know myself in this situation. But letting go all the things I'm holding on to could be scary. So you can journal, talk to a friend. If it gets heavy, find a therapist, someone you can talk to. And Hashem should help us all on this journey. Here we are. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing up. Thank yourself. Thank yourself for sure. Yeah, thank yourself for joining, for taking some time, for slowing down and learning a little bit. Yeah, maybe not too much, but that's okay. Learning about yourself, which is amazing. Have a good night, and I'll see you next week. And Mitzvah Hashem, take care of yourself. Enjoy.